Hello and welcome back to Grim Survival. Today we're talking about food again. It is August 22nd, 2019. Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday. I lost track of my days. I don't know. I lost one here or there somewhere. I don't remember where I put it. So, it's around. But I'll find it eventually. Maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, talking about food again because, it's like a primary topic. And as a matter of fact, it's one of the most viewed videos I've ever made has been talking about food. So why not do another one? Because I have some updates to share with you and some updates from other people that I've listened to that I will also pass along. So, grand solar minimum seems to be in full effect. Apparently, we are experiencing frost already in western Canada, in eastern Alaska. So, up north, they're already seeing frost. And the headline that I read from this was dated August 17th. Frost in the middle of August anywhere in the North American continent is kind of an odd thing, but we have it, so that's a thing. So what's that mean for you and me? Our corn crops are already 4 to 6 weeks behind. They had been because they were planted late, if it even was planted. The crops that were planted, not all of them grew, and you can reference this in other videos I have posted, including the one where I've showed videos of the corn crops that I pass on a daily basis and what they look like. And I'm going to attempt to make another one of those videos because I'm seeing a lot of changes in the corn crops that I come across, soybean crops as well. Most notably, the corn crops that I pass on a daily basis look very brittle and weak. Corn stalks are usually very hardy. They're fat. They're strong. They can hold up to wind really well. I mean, you could step on it and yeah. I mean, corn is a good, strong plant. Not this year. This year, most of the corn crops I see, the ones that are taller, that look like they should be around the right height, these look very brittle to me. And the reason I can say this is because we've recently had some pretty severe storms with, 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts come through the area. That being said, every corn stalk on the edge of all these farms I've seen are broken. They are tipped over and broken. The leaves on the bottoms are gone. They look very frail, very brittle. So, what's that mean for our corn? It means just because they claim that we're having, a minimal shortage here and there, don't believe them. It's not true. We are experiencing a massive crop failure throughout the United States and the world, as a matter of fact. That being said, what's the government doing about it? Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. What's China doing about theirs? This is an interesting story right from China, that they are changing their industry. Now, for many, many years now, what's it been, some around 30, 40 years, China has been manufacturing junk that they sell to stupid Americans that like to buy junk. And don't exclude me from stupid Americans that buy junk. I have done it. We've done it. We've all done it. Anything you have that's made in China. This clipboard I have for work, it says it right there, made in China. I didn't know that until I looked at it. I just guessed. But yeah, I got it at Walmart, made in China. This is the kind of stuff that they manufacture in China. It's cheap. They make it for 10 cents. They sell it to you for $10. That's what they do. That's how they support their country. That's where their income comes from. They no longer are doing that. Their government has switched their focus from manufacturing junk to agriculture. Everybody is switching their focus at the whole country. They are beginning to prep for food. They are, that's what they're doing to prepare. So all the plastic crap that you used to get from China, you're going to start seeing shortages on plastic crap now. I mean, it's not really that bad of a thing, personally. We could do without most of the stuff we have. And if more things were made in our country, then our economy would probably be able to self-sustain a little better than what it currently is, which is not at all, in my opinion. But this is not an economic video. This is a food shortage video. And so let's get back to it. Mexico. This is fun. The drug cartels are now confiscating avocados. Like literally. And the headline said that 48 tons of avocados are being stolen by cartels per day. Now, why would drug cartels and gangs and basically people that want to be in power or have a lot of power, why would they be taking over food crops and stealing tons of food? Literal tons of food. Truckloads of food is just being stolen. would not want to be a truck driver in Mexico right now hauling avocados, because that would be a high-risk job, in my opinion. So, in the UK, there are colleges that are pushing the CO2 emissions agenda, that the cows are causing global warming, and we are, still heating up. And in certain places, we actually are. So, global warming is still a thing, probably. At least the buzzword is still out there. We can use it for something or another, right? So, these colleges are banning meat. Why are they banning meat? You would think in a time of food shortage, banning a certain type of food would be bad, but maybe they're banning it because they don't have enough of it. So, if you can push a bunch of people toward being vegans because you have more rice and beans, then yeah, that's probably a good idea on their part. Here in the United States, we have an abundant amount of meat because we're killing our livestock off at record rates right now because we cannot afford to feed them. It's what is happening. All right, apples. There are several farms that are just unable to sell apples. Apple farms, apple orchards. I'm going to check the local apple orchard near my area. There's one that's not too far from me. We usually go sometimes in the fall, get apples. It's one of the U-Picks, but you can see a lot of them all over the country now that are already posting that they will not have apples this fall. So apple shortages, apple prices have already skyrocketed. We used to, in pretty much every Love's truck stop you go into all over the country, you have an option of, the prices have always been ridiculous. 2 bananas for $1, 2 apples for $1, something like that. I don't remember the apple prices. I remember banana prices, but now they don't have apples. They've always had like big baskets full of apples by each door at these truck stops. And I go to 2 different truck stops typically, and I haven't found apples at either one in days. So, apple crops. Nope. Don't count on apple pie this Thanksgiving. I hope it wasn't your favorite. We'll see about pumpkins. Pumpkins, I would guess, are probably doing really well. Abundant amount of water, cooler temperatures. That's a pumpkin kind of thing. It's a fall crop. So, basically, crop failures are happening all over the world, but it's inconsistent. There are certain areas where crops are doing really well. Corn is doing really well in the southern United States. The growing areas are changing with the climate. Climate is obviously changing. If you don't think so, walk outside for a minute. I mean, yeah, pay attention, open your eyes, wake up. So what's our government doing about it? Well, they are going to war, apparently. They are pushing for war. They're threatening other countries. They're trying to take over oil, country that has a lot abundant amount of oil. And, the question was posed on my last YouTube video, why would they take over oil? Why not just go after some of the countries that are stockpiling food and take the food? Well, if you have control of all the oil, then, what's to stop you from doing that after the fact? Because if you have all the oil, that means all of your jets and ships and tanks can work while theirs cannot because they'd have no oil. So if you control the oil, you control all the machinery, you control all the power, you control all the weaponry. They can launch missiles, but when they run out of oil, they can no longer make fuel. They can no longer make jet fuel. So as long as we have all the oil, we can go take all the food after the fact. And another reason, this is going to be my theory on this because of certain global population control agendas. My theory is another reason they are not going after food, they were going after oils, because they don't mind if half the United States population drops dead. That's just a whole lot less resistance you have, because most of the population have guns, and they are not going to give them up that easily, even though we have our abundant amount of snowflakes, and it may seem at times the snowflakes are more abundant than the people with guns. That is not a true statement. It's just that the snowflakes are way more obnoxious and way louder than us people that, are armed and ready to go. We're just not jumping up and down, waving our rainbow flags and saying, hey, here we are, look at me. Nope. We are hiding around the corner and just waiting. When it all goes to crap and everybody's in, chaos, we're going to be just waiting behind our little walls with our teams and families and, all of our preparations, waiting for the government to come take it from us, because that's probably what will happen next. Once all the snowflakes drop dead, the government's coming for you. If you're still alive, you will be a target. It's just, yeah, it's what it is. So don't just prepare for the collapse and don't just prepare for SHTF. Prepare for the assault afterward, because they're coming and they're going to take it. And if you don't think so, I can prove it. I know for a fact that they have a list of every gun that I have ever owned. They've shown it to me. I won't go into why or how, but I've seen it. Every gun I have purchased legally and didn't acquire by other means or was handed down through family members, they have a list of it. I've seen it. Believe me, they're coming. All right, so that's about all I got here. I had some notes. I'm just, going over, making sure I covered everything I was talking about. But yeah, the grand solar minimum, it seems to be a real thing. Temperatures are dropping. Crops, like I said, 4 to 6 weeks behind. We're looking at early frost already. If the frost happens before they can harvest, then crop failure went from, what are we looking at? They're claiming 40%, but it's more like 60 in my opinion. It's probably going to be more like 80% by the time the first frost actually hits, which, don't quote me, but I'm guessing our first frost will be here by next month. Temperatures in Chicago this week, right now, August, what is today? 22nd, August, the end of August. Temperatures in Chicago, highs in the 70s, lows in the 50s already. It's getting there. We are cooling off. Do you feel cool? People in India don't. It's like some of the hottest temperatures on Earth. I'm pretty sure they don't agree with grand solar minimums. But you never know. It is what it is. Our government, they like our propaganda and make sure we're going to war. Don't pay attention to the fact that we're all going to starve to death. Hey, it's grim, but that's what we do here.